Welcome to the Shipyard Old Port Half Marathon from Portland, Maine. The race starts on the pier at the Ocean Gateway Terminal and quickly takes a left towards Commercial Street. Now the first part of this course will travel right through Portland's waterfront section on Commercial Street as we head towards the Casco Bay Bridge and the west side of Portland. Now as we make our way towards Commercial Street, just for this race, runners will enjoy a special traffic-free lane that will be set up right in the middle of the road. So nice flat start to this course. Water's on your left-hand side as you run past all the shops and restaurants, different businesses along the waterfront. Great seafood restaurants all up and down Commercial Street. Now, nice flat start to this course. You want to make sure that you don't go too hard right at the start of this race. Settle into a nice pace. There are some hills on this course, so you want to make sure you don't go too fast at the beginning as we pass mile 1, and there's also a water stop here. Passing underneath the Casco Bay Bridge as we continue down Commercial Street. A little bit of rough road through this section of Commercial Street, so just be aware of that. Okay, right about here, the road's going to start to kick up just a little bit as we start to work our way towards Valley Street. Now, right after the Lobster Shack, we're going to merge right onto the Four River Parkway Trail as we start to go up this small hill, working our way towards the right turn on Valley Street. Crossing through mile 2. Now at the top of the hill, we're going to veer right around the anchor. And then we're going to leave the trail and head up Valley Street. As we leave Commercial Street, we will now travel up Valley Street as we make our way up the hill to the Western Promenade. Now shortly after turning onto Valley Street, the road's going to kick up just a bit. Now it's important to keep a very conservative pace as the next couple of miles are the toughest of the day. There'll be several tough climbs coming up. As we head slightly downhill, stay to the right side of the road as you're going to be taking a right at the stop sign onto A Street. Now as soon as you take this right, you're going to be faced with the toughest climb of the day. First it's going to be a short but tough uphill, then a quick right, and then it's going to really start going up. Now at the top of the street, you're going to enter Western Promenade Park, and then it's even going to get steeper. If you feel yourself dying out on this hill, I would even recommend walking the last little stretch of this hill. It is very steep. You may find you're actually walking faster than running. Now at the top of the hill, you're just going to continue right onto the path, and then you're going to take a right onto Western Promenade. Soon after, you're going to pass mile 3 and a much-needed water stop. The next part of the course will travel along Western Promenade Park, then we'll loop through the West End neighborhood as we start to return towards the waterfront. Now after climbing that tough hill, we're going to have a nice break as it is nice and flat on the top of the Western Promenade. Beautiful homes on the left and the Western Promenade Park on the right. Then you're going to have a nice downhill. Western Cemetery all down the left-hand side. Really nice downhill through this section. A little bit of rough road at the bottom of the hill, so just be aware of that. As you get towards the end of the road, you're going to take a left on Vaughan Street. Now, as soon as you take this left, the road's going to kick up quite a bit. So you get the transition from your downhill legs to the uphill legs. Now, this part of the course, we're just going to continue straight through all of these stop signs as we start going through the West End neighborhood. Again, beautiful homes line this street. Beautiful trees. Just going to continue straight. And at the next stop sign, we're going to take a right onto West Street. And then we're going to quickly cross through the 4-mile mark. So again, nice and flat through this section. Give your legs a chance to recover just a bit, and you can settle into a nice pace. Now at this point in the course, we're beginning to head back towards the water. So that big hill that we had to climb up to Western Promenade, now we get the chance to go downhill and head back towards the water. So now you can get some payback on this course. The next section of this course is slightly downhill, and then you're going to be faced with a really steep downhill. So we're just going to continue straight and continue to head towards the water. You can see it in the distance. Casco Bay Bridge. You're going to have a really steep downhill here, and at the end of the road, you're going to take a left onto York Street. So at the bottom of this very steep hill, you're going to take a quick left, and then the road's going to kick up. Just a short uphill, but you're going to have to transition pretty quickly into this uphill. Road's going to flatten out, and then we're actually going to take a right into from Harborview Memorial Park, right onto the pathway. Again, the road's going to kick down quite a bit. You have a nice downhill through this park. At the end of the path, you're going to take a hard left and continue downhill. Then we're going to run right underneath the Casco Bay Bridge. Pretty cool part of the course through here. We're going to continue down to the bottom of the hill, and then we're going to take a left back onto Commercial Street. For the next part of the course, we will retrace our steps down Commercial Street, pass by the Shipyard Brewery, climb Munjoy Hill, and then start the long descent down to the Eastern Promenade Trail. Now after exiting Harborview Memorial Park, we'll take a left back onto Commercial Street, and again we'll be running right in that runner's lane, right in the middle of the road, as we retrace our steps back along the waterfront. Again, the water is now on the right-hand side. Now as we start to progress through this race, hopefully you've taken advantage of the water stops on approximately every mile. It is very important to stay hydrated during this race, so you'll be able to take advantage of those flat miles on the second half of the course. Again, passing the shops and restaurants on both sides of Commercial Street. We're just going to continue straight. Now you're going to see off to the right is the finish line. We're going to pass by the Ocean Gateway Terminal again. We're just going to continue straight. Now, Shipyard Brewing Company is the title sponsor for this event. And after the race at the finish line, all runners can look forward to 2 complimentary beers at the finish. Now, as we take this right on 4th Street, look to the left, and we're actually going to pass right by the Shipyard Brewing Company. Now we start the last big climb of the day, the climb up Munjoy Hill. Now, the hill doesn't start out too bad, but as soon as you come around this corner, it really kicks up. Really going to have to dig deep on this point in the course. Now at the top of the hill, look to the right-hand side, and you will be rewarded with one of the most incredible views I've ever seen in a road race. Just incredible views of Casco Bay and the different islands and boats dotting the water. Now bear to the right on Cutter Street, and again, incredible views off to the right. Now enjoy this nice long downhill as we begin to head towards the Eastern Promenade Trail. At the bottom of this hill is East End Beach. There's also going to be a water stop. Make sure you take on water at this point in the course. At the bottom of the hill, turn left on the Eastern Promenade Trail. Now the next part of this course heads west on the Eastern Promenade Trail before circling the beautiful 3.5 miles around Back Cove. At the bottom of the hill, grab some water at the East End Beach water stop and head left on the Eastern Promenade Trail. Now as we head out on the trail, just be aware that this part of the course is two-way traffic. So just make sure you stay to the right of the white line as you head out. Now there are a couple of rolling hills on the trail. It's not perfectly flat, and this is one of them. Basically there's a hill going up to the water treatment plant on the way out and on the way back. Treatment plant's on your left-hand side, and look to the right and you'll be able to see the old Grand Trunk Railroad swing trestle bridge, which is stuck in the open position. You can see it off to the right. Work your way around, you have the graffiti wall on your left-hand side. As we continue to head towards Tukey's Bridge, we take a right, and we're actually going to run underneath the bridge. So a pretty cool path, goes right under the bridge, work our way around. We're going to stay to the right. And then we're going to start to circle Back Cove. Now, Back Cove is a 340-acre tidal basin. Now, circling Back Cove is this dirt and gravel running path, which is very popular with local runners. You'll always see a ton of people out walking or running around Back Cove. Very popular area. There are also many road races that run around Back Cove. Just a great area to run or to be outside. Now, right up the soccer fields, we're going to take a right and head back towards the water. There's a water stop right here at the parking lot as we cross through mile 9. Now, the path basically hugs the water all the way around. Now, most of the path is dirt or gravel, and it's a little different running on than pavement, but you get used to it as you start to work your way around. Beautiful tree-lined path. Now, as you work your way around Back Cove, keep looking to your right and you'll be able to see the Tukey Bridge. Basically, we're going to work our way around back to the bridge and then run back under the bridge and head back out on the trail. I know for me it was tough to keep my concentration up. Every time I looked up, it didn't look like the bridge was getting any closer. So you really just got to bear down and let these last couple of miles tick by as we get closer and closer to the bridge and the finish line. As we cross through mile 11, we continue to work our way around Back Cove. Now, there's some construction going on Baxter Boulevard, which affects the course just slightly. These little diversions here or there off Back Cove, but not too bad. Be sure to take advantage of the last water stop on Back Cove right before the bridge. Now, as you turn right, we're actually going to go over the bridge. This is a really cool part of the course as we cross the Tukey Bridge. Look to your right as you see beautiful views of the water in Back Cove. Now, at the end of the bridge, we're going to take a very hard right back underneath the bridge. Basically retracing our steps underneath the bridge. Work our way around as we head back to the Eastern Promenade Trail. The final section of this course heads east on the Eastern Promenade Trail before finishing in front of the Visitors Center at the Ocean Gateway Terminal, near where our journey began. Now, as we start to head back on the Eastern Promenade Trail, we first have to get by the last hill of the day. It's a short but tough hill as we go by the sewage treatment plant for the second time. Now, as you crest the hill, you're going to have a nice downhill. Cross over the railroad tracks, and the remainder of the race is perfectly flat. Again, beautiful views of the water all down the left-hand side. You're just going to continue straight. Now, if you have anything left at this part in the race, it's time to pick it up. Less than a half mile to go. Maine narrow gauge railroad station on the right-hand side. Coming up. Really got to dig deep for this final push. Right as you cross over the railroad tracks, you only have 0.1 to go. And the race finishes right in front of the Ocean Gateway Terminal Visitors Center and Munjoy Park. Thank you for viewing the Shipyard Old Port Half Marathon.